Good evening, greetings, and salutations. This is Passionate Bliss, and I'm here again tonight with questions, comments, useless facts about me, and tips to help us all. But first, go to my YouTube channel, Passionate Bliss, comment, like, subscribe, share, and I will talk to you over there. I love talking to you over there. My full video will always be over there, and eventually I will only be over there, especially when I roll out my Black Love t-shirt line collection, and also other clothing to come. It's going to be a long journey, and I hope we can take it together. You can see the first edition in my online store, my passionatebliss.myshopify.com. And I hope to see you over there as well. Okay? And so this week and last week, we have been reviewing the 5 love languages. So far, we have reviewed the love language of words of affirmation, telling them they're amazing. We have reviewed the love language of receiving of gifts, not necessarily small gifts, but it's the thought that counts, okay? And then the third one that we reviewed was acts of service, taking on a role that you don't normally take on for them without being asked. And also little gifts of coupons for a kiss or for a full body hug or a massage. The writing of the coupon is the act of service, and then you have to do it, okay, and do it well, okay? And so we went over those 3, and you can check back on my other videos. I'll put the link below so you can go ahead and look on them. And, we can go from there. Because what we're actually doing is we are looking and reviewing the book by Gary Chapman that was published in 1992 called 5 Ways to Experience and Express Love Between Romantic Partners. Because this is a relationship channel, as I've said many times, and what we want to do is reconnect men and women because there is a growing divide, and it's being proven statistically, which I will go into detail about once I start my talk show with my male co-host, which we'll be doing at the beginning of the year. And so statistics show that we are growing apart, men and women, especially Black men and women. So I really want to focus on reuniting us, starting with dialogue. And I want us to have all the tools we need to be successful when we try to reconnect. And one of them is knowing how your partner experiences love and makes them feel loved. We started with a definition because I like definitions. Definitions let us know what our goal is, what we're trying to get to, and it lets us measure how well we're doing. And so my definition that we settled on for love was a feeling of warmth, feeling of intimacy, a feeling of tenderness, a feeling of attachment and deep affection. And so we want that person to feel love, because you can say I love you all day and all night, but if they don't feel that coming from you, then it's, not worth anything. And it also will leave room for someone else to come in, or even for that person to just drift away from you. Okay, so that person has to feel love. Love is a feeling. And so you want them to feel it. And you have to know what it is that they feel is love, because we grew up in different backgrounds. We all have different family dynamics. We come from different parts of the country and the world. And so we don't express love in the same way. And if you want that relationship to be successful, you have to find out how they think love is expressed. I think I met a gentleman a little while ago, and he said, what's your love language? I said, I don't know what you're talking about. He said, listen, go take this test and come back and tell me what your love language is, which was actually great. Although I wasn't seriously trying to see him or anything like that. But, if you're meeting somebody and they take that test, and we're going to take that test by the time we get through all of the love languages. So we'll know for sure what our love language is. We're going to take it. And so he said, go take the test and come back and tell me what it is, which is a good way to cut out the middleman. You don't have to fumble around and figure it out. And according to Mr. Gary Chapman, we have a primary love language and we have a secondary love language. And so I've taken the test, so I know what mine are. But depending on how that person was raised and where they came from, their love language may be very different from yours. These lights are so hot. Yeah. Okay. So what we want to do is move on to the next love language. Okay. And the questions that I came away with were these, because the 4th love language is quality time. I think that's actually a foundation of a relationship, but it's a love language, quality time. This person may not want gifts. They may not need, to be flattered and told that they're beautiful and they're amazing and they have the cutest smile and the cutest dimples. They may not need that. They may not need, to have an act of service done, but they will need quality time. To them, your time is what matters. Giving them your time shows that you care and that you desire them and that you want them, that you have a tenderness and affection and attachment. It makes them feel loved when they get quality time, not just time, quality time, okay? So my questions are these. What is quality time? How important is quality time to your relationship, to your partner? How important is it? And how can you tell if maybe your mate, their love language primarily is quality time, okay? And how do you make quality time for that person, especially if it's their primary love language? I think everybody should be making quality time, but if it's their primary love language, you have to make time for them. So how? How do you do it? Okay, so we're going to go over that. And my quote for today is this. The currency of a relationship is time. So if you want to invest in your relationship, you have to start by investing your time. Okay? Because it has to grow from somewhere. And time is the seed. Time is the seed. Time is the water. Well, time waters the seed. Okay? And so we want to have a clear-cut definition, because I said, remember, that's our goal. I love definitions. That's our goal. Okay? Quality time. Time spent giving another person your undivided attention for the purpose of strengthening your relationship. Okay? And so these are the people, to give you a clue, if your mate, if quality time is their primary love language, these will be the ones who are complaining and saying, oh, you never have time for me. We used to go places together and now we don't. You're always too busy to talk to me, you know. And so these are the people who are giving you clues that time is their love language, and you want to focus in on that, pick up on it, and respond to it. So what does quality time look like? Okay, because some people I know say, well, I consider spending time with you if we're in the same house. I'm not running around in the street doing other things. I'll be upstairs and you're downstairs. And I actually had a friend of mine tell me that. I think that's quality time, because I was complaining about somebody who was doing that to me. Actually texted me from upstairs, downstairs. I will not answer you. And so it was a friend of his. So yeah, so he had to. So, but he said, well, I think that's quality time as long as I'm in the house. You know, that's not quality time. Even if you're in the same room, it still could be not quality time if you're both doing other things. You have to give that person your undivided attention. So what does that mean? It looks like no TV. It looks like no cell phone. It looks like no kids. Okay, and people do that in a lot of different ways. But you have to make that person the center of your attention. If you want to do a date night, I mean, there's people around, but you're across the table with just that one person, and you're giving them your undivided attention. That's quality time. Okay, and so what does quality time look like? Okay, so we already said, number one, no distractions, no TV, no phone, no books, no kids, no nothing else. Just the two of you, undivided attention. Okay, so what that means is you're gonna do what? Look them in the eyes when they're talking to you. Okay, that means that you're not going to interrupt them. Okay, that's quality time, because they have your undivided attention. You look at them in the eyes, you're listening, and you're not interrupting. Okay, until they're finished, and then you respond. Okay, because it's an exchange. It's an exchange. It's a sympathetic sharing of thoughts, sharing of desires, sharing of hopes, and sharing of feelings. And when they're talking, you want to listen for feelings, because this gives you the response time that you need. You want to be able to respond to how they feel. If they say it really upset me, or this really bothered me, or I really love this, or I was so excited about this. This is a way that you can feed into their feelings and their emotions and how they feel, because you want them to feel love. So tune into their feelings and respond to it and speak to it. Okay, now it's not just also you sitting there listening to her talk, because I can talk all day. But I try not to. I work on it. I really do work on it. But, you know, so it's not just you sitting there listening to her talk. You have to talk too. You are sharing your thoughts, your desires, your feelings. You know, you are both sharing. Okay. And so you want to also be sure that you have covered all the topics, all the basics, not just talking about the kids, other things. You're talking about you and each other. You can't lose your bond in the role of parenthood, or the role of provider, or the role of, you know, whatever, housekeeper, cleaner, cook. You can't lose your bond, you know, in your other roles in your life, okay? And so how do you find the time? We are all busy. Some people work 2 jobs. Some people just have a job that requires them to work long hours. I used to work 8 to 10. I used to work 8 to 10, especially if corporate was coming, 8 to 10, and so we all work long hours and we're all busy people, and we have other activities. The kids have activities, but we have to, you're not going to find the time. You have to take the time. Take it. Take it from something else. Okay? Take it. Okay? I can't emphasize that enough. People are like, oh, I'm so busy. Oh, I was so busy I couldn't call you back for 2 or 3 days. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. You had time. Take it. Even if you have to take it from your sleep. 15 minutes before you get in your bed, if you're a distance away, call them and give them 15 minutes of your undivided attention and your time. Okay? And if you're sleepy, get a notepad and write down what he or she is saying so you can keep up and respond. Get a pad. Okay? I don't want to hear that. Take it from your sleep. Shower together before you go to bed. Y'all both got to wash up before you go to bed, right? Shower in the same shower and talk in that shower, okay? Find a way to take the time. Take it. Take it from your 30-minute lunch break. Call her for 10 of them. You got those 10 minutes. Okay, you don't eat for the whole 30 minutes now. You can call her for 30 minutes. And the time that you gave, the time that you gave will make her feel or him feel that they are important to you. Okay? So you can also, like I said, people have date nights. You can schedule it in. Do not break that date on the schedule. Okay? Do not break that time. It's not something that you can change around or throw away because you want to go here with your friend. No, that's their scheduled time. And if there is an emergency and you have to break the time, then you can do what? Reschedule it. And don't break the rescheduled time. Okay? It has to be a priority if you value that relationship. And you can care less, then don't worry about it. And if you got a woman or a man that they bore you to death and the last thing you want to do is sit down with them for 30 minutes and talk undivided, you need to go home somewhere and find who you're supposed to really be with, because that's not who you're supposed to be with, okay? It should be a pleasure to give them that time. A lot of times we get busy and we get annoyed because we don't have the time, but once you give that person your time and attention, it should be a pleasure. It should be a pleasure. And that's how you don't lose your intimacy if your partner's love language is quality time, okay? And what will happen if you don't? If you don't make the quality time, if you're too busy, if you don't have the time, you are telling that person, you're not worth my time. That's what you're telling them. I don't love you enough to give you my time. That's exactly what you're telling them. That's what they hear. Even if you don't mean that, that's what they hear. That's what they see. Because that's their love language. You are starving them of love. Because you're starving them of time. Okay? Now, if you don't want them going about your business, let them go. Okay? It should be a pleasure, and we can do it, and we're going to practice. Because we were practicing our affirmations, words of affirmation. We were practicing giving gifts. We've been practicing, what was the other one? Acts of service. We've been practicing. And we're getting good at it, right? 2020, we're going to be on point. We're going to be ready. So we're going to practice quality time. I say 15 minutes. What you say? You can give somebody 15 minutes of undivided attention. You got 15 minutes. You do. Give it to them. Give it to them and see how much it means to them. Okay? And with that being said, y'all have sweet dreams. Wait to find them all real.